Alex Mullen to make it 3-1 in the grand final. Puts in the penalty and wins the grand final for Campbelltown City.
No one attacks it, comes back off the Fernandez. It's the goal! It's top! Oh! And then Talisman's got another one.
They City back quick.
Jake King done with a shot! My goodness me!
Can't teach that sort of stuff.
Sends it in, keeps it low, and it's gone in! It's gone in! LA Uni has scored in time added. Tries to get under control, and the shot from Tolland! Salisbury into a 2-0 up!
Neil Butler with another chance, it's 2-1 to Playford! Persistence has paid off for Playford!
One touch the keeper, pushes it into the bottom corner. Beach gives him a shoulder after that as well. He's lost his clean sheet, and he's lost his head with a red card! David, this is massive!
Skills to make the girls sing, and the geezers too, yeah, we're doing this thing.
Hello and welcome to episode 9 of One Game at a Time for season 2025. I am Seb O'Neill, and as always, joined by my three very esteemed co-hosts. This week, we'll start with Mr. Alessio Croci. And Alessio, my question for you this week is what was your first ever phone?
Wow, that's an interesting one. I'm pretty sure it's either between there's some random Samsung one that I can't remember, but the first one I bought, I guess I bought part of it from like birthday money, Christmas money, was the Sony Ericsson Play. It's probably somewhere in my drawers, but it's the one, I'm sure some of you have seen it. It's the one that like flipped up and it was like a PlayStation underneath.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Let's see if I can find a picture of it, but it was the best. The FIFA on there, the car games on. It literally had, I'll show you a picture.
All right, we'll let you grab the picture, and then we'll move on to Mr. David Grant. David, what was your first ever phone?
I was a slightly late adopter, and I've actually had to Google this because I don't.
Not by choice.
No, well, in the early days of phones, you really got a phone just for the purpose of having a phone, and the one thing I hated at the time was being on the phone to people. So I'm still a bit like that, to be honest. But it didn't come with games or any of that sort of stuff. So I've just looked it up. I think it was a Nokia 3310. That came out in 2000. But I don't think I bought it until about 2002 or thereabouts. So I reckon it was a Nokia 3310.
The very signature phone, I think that is considered by people. And Mr. Mark Talbot. Mark, what about you?
Good evening. I went with my first one would have been the Nokia 5110, and I do have a photo
Ooh.
of it. It was the brick that introduced us all to the wonderful world of Snake on the phone. So yes, I had the Nokia. I had that bad boy there.
So did
The
that come out
Nokia.
after? What year did
No,
was that after?
No, that came out before the 3110.
Oh, you're way ahead of me then, pal.
But I had that. I think I got that one in probably would have been 2000, I reckon, when I hit high school and started driving.
Right.
Ooh.
Okay.
Were you a big Snake man, Mark? Were you good at Snake?
Oh, yeah, mate, it was the only game we had. Only game that was on there. So of course we were all good at it, mate. That was a phone that went around, and that was the competition was Snake. So it was good.
Fair enough. As always, we'll start off with our picks of the week. And David, we'll start with you.
Not me first. No, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Sorry,
Right.
I wasn't ready for that.
Mark, we'll go to you then.
Yep, I'll go first. We just had some breaking news. Unfortunately for Mary Fowler and the Matildas, she has ruptured her ACL in her right knee, so that has ended her season. Unfortunately for her and for Australia and for Manchester City, because Manchester City are fighting for Champions League football next year. They're currently sitting fourth in the WSL, and they need to get some wins. And I know City are actually struggling for players at the moment. They've had a few injuries, but this is their latest one. So, like I said, not good for Mary, for Australia, or for Manchester City. But yeah, it's not good news at all. And we hope that she has a quick recovery from what seems to be an occurring injury in the women's game at the moment. I think they're actually studying it at the moment, but there's been a lot of ACLs in the women's game. So hopefully she's not out for too long.
Yep, absolutely. Alessio, did you manage to find it?
I didn't. I thought it was in a drawer that was either behind me here or in my bedroom. I can't. It's in one drawer, but I sent you a picture of it. But that is the coolest phone I ever had. And wait till you guys see it. It's I don't know how I convinced my parents to let me get it, but
I remember that phone, Alessio.
Oh wow!
What was it again?
Yeah.
What?
The Sony Ericsson Xperia Play. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember them.
Yep.
I somewhere in here I will find it one time, but yeah, it was unreal. It was not even that too bulky for the time either, but it had like the shoulder pad things. It had its own like nozzle things, and yeah, it was awesome.
I love the fact that was your first phone.
The one first I remember,
it was had Snake. So Seb, you didn't answer actually. What was yours, by the way, Seb?
It would have been an iPhone, like an iPhone 5, maybe.
Geez. Yeah.
Pretty boring. Yeah, I'm too young. That's the problem. David, are you ready now?
Yes. Sorry, I just didn't have I wasn't prepared.
That's okay.
I've had one of those days. I'm sorry. I've got a day job. This isn't enough to support me through life, and so I have a day job as well. So I had one of those days at my day job, which has led me to become a bit flustered. My pick of the week for this week is the selection of 4 local girls for the Junior Matildas squad for camp in Canberra. There's the full squad list there, but yeah, 4 locals are in there. Erin Prince, who plays her football at Metro United, Ruby King, Macy Page, and Mia Trimboli, the 3 girls from NTC, making up a group of 4. A little bit on Erin Prince, though. I'm more familiar with her because I've called a couple of Metro United games. She's just a 15-year-old kid, I suppose, is the way you would describe her at that age, but plays way beyond her years. In the games I've seen, she plays at left back for Metro United's first team, and is just doing incredibly well there. She just looks so comfortable, even though she's playing against girls who are, twice her age in some cases. Not that you should mention a lady's age, but anyway, really chuffed for her. She did come off with an injury against Comets on Friday night, midway through the second half. I'm hoping that's not anything serious, or maybe they just took her off as a precaution. But 15 years of age, has moved here from Melbourne, but lives here, so qualifies as a South Australian in that group, coached of course by Paul Morris, who's very proud of her, I think. And so that's my pick of the week. Those 4 girls who've made the Junior Matildas camp at Canberra.
And of course, the under-17 Matildas coach, former Football SA technical director as well in Michael Cooper. So very, 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 very good to see those SA players still involved. I'll go next with I guess A-League stuff. Carl Viet is gone. Well, he's not gone yet. He's going. But yeah, it was announced the day after we went live last week. He's leaving Adelaide United after a very long-term stint, I think, especially in regards to A-League coaches in particular. I think the 4th or 5th longest out of the entirety of the A-League, but the longest serving ever in Adelaide United history, I'm pretty sure. But I don't know. It's probably a bit of a mix of understanding the decision, but also disappointed because Carl, is someone who's been involved with the system for years, basically. In NTC all the way up to the Adelaide United teams and the first team, and now obviously leading on the first team in the A-League. I suppose I'll put it to you guys as well. What are your thoughts? Do you think it's a fair decision? Do you think he should be going? Do you think he should have gone a long time ago? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. So look, my opinion on sacking coaches or coaches leaving before a season's finished is that it shouldn't happen. They should see the season out, and if it's been decided behind doors that a coach should go, then but the plan is that he sees the season out. Just keep that to yourselves. See the season out is what I think. I also think that sometimes coaches are fired, and I will go back to my Queen's Park experience this year. We had Callum Davison in charge there. He's the best coach that Queen's Park have had in years. But we've got an absolute lousy board, and I believe he was sacked by a board that was trying to divert attention from its own inadequacies. So I don't know what the story is with Adelaide United, but I just think it would have been nice just to have done it at the end of the season instead of, they potentially could still make finals, right? Mathematically, can't they? Yep. So it's just, the timing is just awful, but that's my opinion on it. Not that anyone ever listens to me.
Mark, Alessio?
Do you want to go, Alessio, or do you want me to go?
I'll go. I think it was, I don't know if I would say about time, but it is annoying that it coincides with the massive slump we've had in the last couple of weeks, and it's continuing even since the announcements happened. But I think he's done a good job with what he was given. Everyone knows the background of Adelaide United and the little resources we do end up having, the position the board takes on some players' contracts extending or whatnot. And we've seen some of the results of that with some of our good players moving in the off seasons and stuff. But I think it was a little bit justified. I mean, if you look at his tenure, we were obviously a very successful in ways of just keeping like a good average. We're always top 6 club, always went far in the cups. I'm not sure if he was actually there when we won a cup. I'm pretty sure he came just after.
He hasn't won a trophy.
Yeah. So otherwise, he's got us quite far. He's got us to semi-finals in multiple competitions, multiple years in a row, but he could never get over the line. If that's due to some of his issues or some of the players that he's got. But I do think it was time for change, and especially with the new owners, it was bound to happen that they want to get one of their guys in, and we'll just have to wait and see who it does. But I think he was a reasonably successful coach in terms of what he brought and the players he brought out. But otherwise, I think if we are trying to get to that next stage and back on the stage that we expect to be, where we've done in the past, winning premierships and championships and cups as well, then I think it's going to be another manager.
Mark?
Look, I think what he's been able to produce young player-wise, bringing them through, he's not afraid to give them a chance, which has been somewhat of a revelation, really. I mean, when you look at who he's given opportunities to and what they've gone on to do. I mean, you look at off the top of your head, you've obviously got Aaron Kunda, but then you've got the likes of young Alagic, who's made the under-23s Australian squad. You've got Jovanovic up top. So, and there's many more players that have obviously come through that he's given the opportunities to. So in that regard, he's been brilliant. Results-wise, it's always he's been there or thereabouts, as they say. So it's I'll put it in David's words. He's been mid-table mediocrity, but that's been we've been there, but we haven't quite made it, sort of thing. So, and it's a results business, unfortunately, at that level. And over the years, obviously, like I said, he's been there, but not quite got over the line. So you sort of got to look at that and go, okay, well, do we just want to keep producing young players, or do we want to win something? So it's a very fine line to balance on. And I think I'd say it's probably time to fresh face, new direction, not a new direction, but someone different. They'll see things differently, and they might introduce a new style of play. Who knows? But I don't understand why they've announced it now. It's sort of like a John Farnham farewell tour, really. So I'm not quite sure why. Like, they could have waited, let him just see out the season. If he makes finals, brilliant. If he doesn't, well, then you can go, okay, well, we're calling time on it. So I think the fact is everyone knew that his contract was coming to an end at the end of the year anyway, or at the end of the season. I think that's probably why they've done it. But I say we'll just have to wait and see what happens next and who they look to bring in and what they do. I dare say that the Dutch influence, I dare say we'll probably see a few more Dutch players from the PSV Academy come over as our imports. It's just a guess. I have no idea or no inside knowledge, but it's just an assumption that I'll make because of the fact that we have got a heavy influence with PSV. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. And like I said, probably justifiable over his tenure. But like I said, he's brought some great youngsters through, and I think this year, I think losing Milligan was actually a big loss for Adelaide United as well. We lost him, and I think he had a big part in the way we played defensively. And I think since he's gone, I think we've actually defensively we haven't quite been at the races. Obviously, we're conceding quite a number of goals, so I think that might have been a big hit for him as well. I think losing his number 2 in that regards probably hasn't helped at all. So, yeah, but I said I don't understand why announcing it now. So, I mean, like I said, it's a John Farnham farewell tour, really.
Yeah, the timing doesn't make sense. The other thing I just wanted to quickly mention is, when results don't go your way, it's always the manager they look at. But there's so much accountability elsewhere that isn't addressed, and that goes right down to the players in the park. At the end of the day, the 11 players out in the park are the ones that are going to get your result or not get your result. It's not all just down to the coach. But so I think, I don't know if maybe there's a bit of deflection or diversion of attention there by those that have made this decision. But that's all. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Big game coming up on Friday for both the men's and the women's. I mean, the women's have already secured the home final as well, so they've got a game against City before. And then, the men's side with the game against Wellington Phoenix, pretty much all must-wins at this point. And if you don't have Paramount Plus, you can listen to the games free on The Collective, where you will hear my voice and also David's voice for both of the games. So that'll be a fun Friday. If you don't have Paramount, come listen to the game and have a lovely oral experience through the ears.
Right.
Alessio, on to you for your pick.
Well, I thought you were going to get a good transition into milestones, because actually on that Friday is going to be the record-breaking 286th game for Isaias, breaking the all-time club appearance record on field and out and in goals players, I guess that's how you say it. But which will be a great thing to see. Big stalwart of the club, been there through all the successes, gone, come back plenty of times, and he's still remained a steady part of the team. But talking about milestones, there was actually a few over the weekend and a few this coming weekend that were major and important to announce. So obviously over the weekend, it was Anna Pritchard for West Adelaide Women's 250th game, Scott Nagel 350 games, and Nick Bucco 400 games. None of them all at the same club, but they were all in obviously the senior men's competitions, senior women's competitions, and they're massive numbers to be proud of. David was there for the Nick Bucco 400th game where he scored and got the win, which is great for them. Scott Nagel, unfortunately, didn't have the luck, which he seems not to have in these last couple of seasons. And he was taken off in the 20th minute with an injury on his 350th. Anna Pritchard, she got the win with West Adelaide Women's just about in the 90th minute. And then coming to this weekend where there's a few more notable ones. With Chantel Ryder for Salisbury Inter notching up her 200th this weekend coming. And in the cup as well, Lachlan Duffy and Mark Marino with 200 each as well. Yet to confirm if either of those two are for the same club and only the same club. I think Marino could be, but I think he might have played at Sassy at some point as well. And obviously Lachlan Duffy as well for Sturt Lions, who are having a fantastic season. And he's been there through all the successes and downfalls in the past few years as well. He was there in their first promotion in 2017. He did his ACL in the semi-final before their 2020 promotion. Didn't get to play in the NPL until the season they got relegated. And now he's trying to get back up to have his third promotion with the club. And only, I think, him, Sortini, and Fusco, the coach, have been part all that time. So great to see all those guys pick up their, and women as well, pick up their milestone games. And yeah, we'll hope to see many more over the next couple of weeks as well. I'm sure there's some big ones as well coming.
Absolutely. Some big achievements, and congratulations to all on those. All right, on to the results of the past weekend. Starting with State League 2, Adelaide Athletico losing 2-1 to Gawler Eagles. Mowbray Vista beating Northern Demons 6-3 in a fixture that was actually reversed. It was supposed to be at Northern Demons, but got reversed to a home game for Vista. Elizabeth Grove having a 1-1 draw with Garn United, as did Port Adelaide with Salisbury Inter. Then in the south, Western Strikers losing 3-0 to Adelaide Uni. Adelaide Hills Hawks beating Seaford Rangers 2-1. Mount Barker losing just narrowly to Adelaide Titans 1-0. And Eastern United demolishing Noarlunga United 7-0. Who and where do we want to start first, gentlemen?
Well, just a quick one on the Northern Demons game. That was reverse fixture due to the heat in Perry. So it was a bit warm on the weekend. So they actually reversed that fixture because it would have been, otherwise it would have been cancelled if it had gone to Port Perry. So that's the reason why they changed the fixture.
Fair enough. Alessio, David, Mark, if you want to continue on.
I could talk a little bit about the Adelaide Hills Hawks, seeing as there's a little bit of a pause there. So I didn't go along to this game. I had other commitments, but I did have a chat with, in the supermarket of all places. I bump into so many people in the supermarket. Honestly, my wife sends me down for a loaf of bread and I'll come back 4 hours later. But anyway, I bumped into some pals there, and they were talking about this little turnaround that the Hawks have had. Now they obviously had the win in the local derby, then they had that cup win against West Adelaide. So they're on a little bit of a winning streak. Well, not a winning streak, but a non-defeating streak at this point in time. There was a return to goal in the 38th minute for Connor Hudson. Taishi Kurumasama. No, I apologise if I've got that wrong. Is a Japanese import goalkeeper that the Hawks have got. Took an injury to his shoulder in the 38th minute and had to leave the field. Connor Hudson came in, and by all accounts, Hudson played a blinder. So it'll be interesting to see if Hudson retains his spot next week. Well, in the cup game, even this weekend when they play Cove, because Kurumasawa, and I hope I've got that correct, has been performing very well, and Hudson's coming back from injury. So that was the first bit of note, that Hudson made a return. And then, so 1-1, and then a goal in the 81st minute. I believe it was a penalty, but I could be wrong. Gabriel Bowering scored that, and that was his second goal for the game as well. Mitchell Henkins was the player who'd scored for Seaford, but not enough for them. And the Hawks are on a little bit of a run, and there's a bit of a buzz about the place. They're very happy with their coach there, Alessio, by all accounts. That's the Hawks.
Very, very well. Alessio, Mark, anything from you two?
I'll just continue on talking about where David left off as well. It was a great win. And that Gabriel Bowering, I think he scored in each of the wins that Hawks have had so far. He's been on a great goal streak in the Cup, in the League, in the Derby, this weekend as well, and I think in the other fixture they picked up some points in. But one of the most interesting fixtures I would like to see, I'm not sure if it must happen in the next two games, is Eastern versus Adelaide Uni. Both those teams just seem to be on a rampage at the moment, keeping clean sheets, scoring goals, and I think a fixture between those two, the 3 times it comes around this year, is going to be a blockbuster. So obviously, another game for Eastern United, and I'm not sure where the votes will go this year, but Dennis Bakaj for Eastern United, he was a second half of the season last year signing for Eastern United, and he's been unbelievable. I'm pretty sure he's only about 20 or 21 as well, but he had a massive impact near the end of last season, now had a proper whole pre-season with him, and he's just been on fire. He scored 4 goals in this game, I think, and he in the previous week scored 2 and won a couple of penalties. So he's just on ridiculous form at the moment, and I would say the best player in the league that I've seen so far. Otherwise, around the south, it was an agonising defeat again for Mount Barker, 89th minute, and it was actually a former Mount Barker trialist, Arashi Inaba, who scored the winner for Adelaide Titans. It was one of those late game, a cross comes in, keeper thinks someone's going to get a touch, it doesn't, and it finds all the way to the bottom corner. So it was unfortunate, but there was obviously a penalty save in that game from Thomas Di Maria as well. Elsewhere around the league, the Vista women's and men's, I don't know what their defenders or goalkeepers must do in training, because the amount of goals they both score every week is ridiculous. 5s and 6s. That's all we predict them for as well. Another 6-3 win was massive for them. And 2 interesting draws as well, with Grove and Garn 1-1 and Port and Salisbury Inter 1-1. Probably 2 teams in Inter and Garn we expect to beat teams around them like a Grove and like a Port, but they've held them to draws. And Gawler Eagles continuing their fine form as well. A 2-1 win over Atletico, another favoured team. So in the north, it's probably not as simple as everyone would expect. And in the south, where people thought it might be more contentious, there's 2 powerhouses that are taking it out at the moment.
Just a wee note for you on Dennis Bakaj. He's the top scorer in State League 2 South. He's got 9 goals, and he's 4 clear of his closest rivals as well. So he's, well, you've got 9, you've got 5, you're almost, that's double, isn't it? So almost. So he's well ahead in the goal scoring charts, and that's just league as well.
Good to see you can still do maths, David. Really, really proud of you, as always.
And just quietly, 3 of those 4 goals in the weekend was in the first half too. He scored a first half hat trick, so very impressive. One to keep an eye on. He's last year's is it Kashindi from
Ponce?
Kashindi and Cooper Wegner as well, who scored quite a lot.
Yeah, maybe he's this year's Kashindi.
On to the WSL. Cove having a 2-1 loss at home to Sturt. Western Strikers beating Adelaide Jags 1-0. South Adelaide Elizabeth Grove playing out a 3-3 draw. And in the Modbury Derby, Modbury Vista running away with it 5-1 away from home. I guess, again, Elizabeth Grove getting another point on the board. And again, not at risk of repeating ourselves, Modbury Vista, I think it's already somehow almost pretty confirmed that they will probably be the team to be promoted for next season.
Yeah, we kind of said Modbury Vista will have a good year, and they're this year's Campbelltown, really. I mean, they've gone undefeated so far, and as Alessio alluded to, they're just banging in goals for fun. So, and not conceding that many. So it's an ominous sign for the league when they're doing that. So, yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye on it and see how well they do. And then obviously the Elizabeth Grove picking up another point. They picked that up against South Adelaide this time in a 3-3 draw. And going from memory, the game they played, I actually watched that exact game in pre-season. I think it may have even finished a 3-3 draw. But neither team seemed to just, well, both teams probably need to tighten up a little bit at the back, and they'd probably both start getting some good results now that Grove are able to score goals and obviously just starting to not find form, but dig themselves out of that early slump they were having. So it'll be interesting to see how those 2 teams sort of start progressing as we move on.
Absolutely. David Alessio?
Just hope it doesn't become a bit of a sort of 2-horse race, or not even a 2-horse race, but too predictable too early on, because Modbury Vista are already 5 points clear of Sturt, and Sturt are 5 points clear of third, which I think is South Adelaide. So it's already becoming a wee bit predictable. Hope it doesn't end up that way. Hope other teams pick up points and give us a bit of a competition to keep our eye on, because that's what you want. You know, you don't want the season to be all over, 6 or 7 or 8 games in.
Yeah, absolutely. On to State League 1. South Adelaide losing 4-1 to Adelaide Blue Eagles after going 1-0 up at home. Adelaide Cobras beating Cumberland United 1-0. Salisbury United beating Cove away from home 2-1. Fulham beating Vipers 3-2. Pontian and Olympic playing out a 3-3 draw. And Sturt Lions beating West Adelaide 3-2. Some very interesting ones mixed in there.
Yeah, 5 teams.
I can go first with the South one if you like, and get that one out of the way.
Yeah.
Not the best result for for a new coach. They obviously didn't get that new manager bounce. They got off to a good start, 1-0 up. And then it kind of fell apart after that. A friend of mine, I wasn't at the game. I was on the Bacala game, so I didn't get to stay and watch that one. But did have a friend of mine was watching, and he said the second half was just poor from South Adelaide. The shape had seemed to have gone missing, and they just weren't sure what they were doing. So some work there to be done. Hopefully they can get out of this slump that they're in and start getting some points. But not the best start for Greg and the new coaching team.
Alessio, David?
I was just going to comment on the number of teams who are on level points. Sorry. There's like 5 teams and 7 points, and there's 3 teams up in 12 points. So there's quite a pack there in the middle, and that'll make for interesting viewing over the next few weeks. That's all I was going to say. Alessio?
Yeah, I guess that on a similar vein. I mean, some of the results this week, it's the league of goals. Everyone knows that. But some much needed points for a few teams like your Fulhams and Pontians. But again, the Sturt train marches on, and with another header as well from a cross, which is beautiful to see in this robotic state of football at the moment. But yeah, it was a very weird and interesting game. This is from the previous weeks. I don't think the goals wrapper's out yet, but against
that
against
was last week, Seb.
Yeah, against West Adelaide, I did watch it, and it was I saw I think it was about the 35th minute or so, and I saw 1-0 West Adelaide, gonna be a big second half. By the time I looked at the halftime score, it was 2-2, and there was goals bang 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 within 5 minutes from the 40th minute mark. And it just seems like the link up front there with Altundeg, who's getting on the score sheet again, Sortini on the score sheet, and Soy Sakani again. And I think Sakani and Sortini linked up for each other for both of their goals, I'm pretty sure. And then Sakani crossed it in for Summer to score his as well. So I'd hate to see how close those best and fairest votes are between the club at the moment, because it seems like everybody's just pitching in at the right time. It was also the first game in the senior team for Josh Kavanagh. He did play in the Cup, but with the send-off last week of Zalan Melege, I think it's how you say his last name, he got a chance between the sticks today in the weekend, Kavanagh. And it was a bit of a goblet of fire coming into a game against a team like West Adelaide. But they held off. He made some good saves, obviously made some mistakes as well, but a much needed win in probably the two teams that are going to fight out for this league, I think. And yeah, the football that Sturt are playing right now, it's a breath of fresh air. And I'm sure John's still asking himself, why didn't I get to coaching earlier if it was this easy?
All on State League 1. On to the WNPL. Adelaide Comets beating Metro United 5-1. Adelaide Uni beating Salisbury Inter 1-0 at Jeps Cross. And then right after that, West Adelaide against NTC, a 4-3 win for them. Flinders beating Adelaide City 2-0. And then West Horns Burkalla, a 3-1 win over Campbelltown City. David, you were at Comets.
Yeah. I was at Comets for a double header, the first of which was Adelaide Comets women playing Metro United. Game finished 5-1 for Comets, which, to be honest, wasn't really a fair reflection of play. I mean, Comets were maybe a bit better than Metro United, but not by 4 goals, not by 4 clear goals. Coming into this game, Comets had scored 10 and conceded 8. And I did a bit of research, and at that point in time, only the bottom 3 teams, that's Flinders, Burkalla, and Campbelltown at the time, had conceded more. Flinders conceding 12, Burkalla 13, and Campbelltown 11. So Comets maybe a little bit leaky at the back coming into this, but they settled very well, played some really nice football, and ran out comfortable winners in the end. Too many mistakes really down the middle for Metro United, and failing to pick up loose players. I mean, there's Anastasia Willoughby scoring there to put her team into a 2-0 lead, completely unmarked in the box. And from memory, there was another couple of goals that came right down the middle. This goal here gave Metro a little bit of hope. Sorry, I've just lost my notes, but that gave him a little bit of hope at that point in time. That was Emma Cotgrove who'd come on, but all up, Willoughby sneaking in at the back post here from the narrowest of angles. It was a fine take and little to aim for, and Karas beaten at our near post really. Willoughby scored 2, Hazelwood's got 2, and Joanna Katsabis, who came on as a substitute, scored as well. In fact, this might be her goal here, straight through the middle. Carras not quite doing enough to keep it out of the net. So a disastrous night and you can see limping there, young Erin Prince. That's her going to ground there in the penalty box after that goal. So that was the injury that saw her leave the field. Entertaining enough game, but I really felt for Metro United because they just didn't deserve a 5-1 drubbing. But they'll have to pick themselves up and have a rethink ahead of next week. It makes the table more interesting, though, for us neutral observers. There's quite a number of teams who are only separated by about 3 points in that middle table. But I enjoyed my night out. It was disappointed for Metro United, but Comets deserved the win.
Fair enough. Mark, Alessio, for you two?
I'd have to say I think the Flinders win is one that was quite surprising. I mean, going by our predictions as well, no one really had them to pick up points against the City team, who's been faltering with conceding a fair few goals and making some mistakes. But from all accounts in the highlights that I saw of that game, it looked like Flinders United were on top and they just made their chances count. And they've got a lot of compatriotism in the team as well. It seems like everybody's just playing for each other and getting vital goals and then defending with their lives for it. So that was an interesting one. Obviously saw that West Adelaide NTC game as well, where it was just mayhem in that final second half with some last-ditch attempts on goal and some last-ditch defending attempts. But it goes to show what the premiers of last year can do. And a lot of great set pieces, I think, from West Adelaide as well. This is the final goal, but I think throughout the game, I think Sugihara, I think, scored one. No, Yamada, sorry. I think scored one in the first half from a corner. But, otherwise it was, probably the game of the weekend in the women's. And, previously to what David was saying about Comets, the attacks they just had going forward, it looks like their frontline Comets is just so lethal at the moment with how they can put away their chances quite easily.
Mark, finally,
just to go back to the earlier point, I was just going to say, just back to the earlier point, 9th place, Adelaide City on 5 points. Second place, only 3 points ahead, Comet. So there's only 3 points between second and second bottom.
Mark?
Sorry, Mark.
Yeah, no. I was going to say the same thing. That middle of the table is so tight in the WNPL. But for me, the game was one of the other games I thought was quite interesting was Adelaide Uni. They beat Salisbury into 1-0, and Salisbury have always been there or thereabouts the last few years, or more than probably the last few years. But Uni, who survived on the last day of the league last year, I was on that game, and they scored in the 94th minute to force that was a great finish, just quietly. They forced the winner 1-0 just to stay in the league. Then they got to play in their playoff match, which they stayed up. And now they're sitting. Yes, that league is very tight, but they're now sitting in, I think it's fourth spot on 8 points, but equal with NTC on 8 points in third. So it's such a tight league. And the scary thing, I think, when you look at the table is the 4-point gap between Adelaide City in 9th and Campbelltown in 10th. Campbelltown only on that 1 point. So they've come up with such a good season last year. They're really starting to struggle in this league, and they've got to start picking up some points soon. Otherwise, they're going to they might get left behind, and that's a worrying sign. But again, as you said, second to second bottom, 3 points, a couple of good games, a couple of big wins, and you're right back into contention. But the other scary part is West Adelaide, 15 points. Next team's on 8. So it's a bit of a difference there between West Adelaide and Adelaide Comets. So it's looking very ominous for West Adelaide again. Very good, should I say?
Absolutely, and very, very entertaining throughout the season. I'm sure it will be as well. On to the men's MPL. Morbury Jets having a 2-0 win over Croatia Raiders. Adelaide Comets losing 3-0 to Adelaide City. Metro winning in the final minute against Burkalla. Croydon having out a 5-3 win against Campbelltown City. Para Hills drawing 2 with Adelaide United, and Playford beating FK Beograd 1-0. And I haven't mentioned it yet, but thank you to Playford for giving me some cool merch. I got a nice polo, and that's a match-worn shirt from the 8-1 win. I won't turn it around because I can't be bothered, but it is Sam Voigt's shirt. So yes, thank you to Playford. And they treat it.
still very disappointed that you won that. He wanted that shirt.
Well, game's the game. Yeah, but they treated me very, very well on Saturday. So thank you to them. Yes. On the results, who wants to go first? Who wants to talk about the football?
I'll go first. I'll kick it off with the Metro game on the Friday night. They played Burkalla at Berks. Yes, 1-0 in the 94th minute, I think it was, to an own goal, Colin Morris own goal. And what annoyed me with this game, and I was chatting with Danny Greystone. Here's the goal there, as you can see. What annoyed me, and I said to Danny Greystone after the game, I said, Metro got out of jail there, but not in the traditional way of getting out of jail. They deserve the win, but they deserve to win by a better goal. And this is what I said to him. Berks didn't deserve to lose 1-0 to an own goal. They deserve to be beaten by an absolute outstanding goal. Harpus, again, was brilliant in goal for Burkalla, and he kept him at bay along with some great defensive work. But the game itself deserved a better goal to decide the game. And in the end, it was an own goal, which was disappointing for Berks. But also, I think Metro, like I said, they deserved to win with a great goal. They had some great chances. They had some great link-up play at the top of the box. There was one time I think Woodfin danced through about 3 players and then hit it straight at Harpus, and like all it needed was that final touch or a bit of composure to pick a corner. But that was the whole game. It was entertaining. It was fast as it was end to end. But like I said, I just felt it needed a better goal for what the game offered. And in the end, like I said, it was an own goal in the 94th minute for Berks to lose that one. But if Berks can defensively hold up as well as they did against a Metro side like that, and then just start maybe scoring some goals at the other end, that they'll get themselves out of trouble. But yeah, like I said, overall good game. But I just think the game itself deserved like a goal of the week contender. That's what sort of the game was like. It was very fast. The game blitzed through the first 45, and I was with Simon, and we're like, well, that's finished already. That was ridiculously fast. So, yeah, unfortunately for Bergs, but like I said, Metro will just keep marching on, and like I said, they'll keep going on their merry way, playing the right brand of football. I don't know what the injury to Scott Nagel is, but he'll be rested, I dare say, this week, and hopefully he's not out for too long and gets back on the park soon.
Did Danny Greystone agree with you, or did he punch you in the face, Mark?
Oh no, he was all good. Like as I said to him, and that's what I said. It wasn't that they got out of jail. It was more the fact that they deserved a better goal for what they produced on the park. And he agreed. He was like, yeah, they just didn't finish it. The chances they missed were, I mean, Owen Windsor missed an open goal in the first half. And it was little things like that just didn't quite work for them. And then in the end, it was an own goal. So, and I just said to him, I said, it was a game that deserved a better goal. And I was chatting with Nicole Corn. She goes, yeah, it deserved a good goal for a winner. But as you say, you take what you can and you get away with the 3 points. In this instance, it took an own goal in the end. But like I said, they did, for most of the majority of the game, outplayed Burkalla. So deserved the win.
I'll go off the back of that. I was at 2 games. I was at Playford. I was at Playford on the Saturday, and then I was at Modbury on the Friday. I'll start with that. Both of the games weirdly had a similar pattern, where, well, at least Modbury were probably the only team out of all of them. There was a severe lack of clinicality, if is the word. They just couldn't seem to really get a shot on goal, and if they did, there was nothing too threatening. The first real half up until this goal from Modbury, really, it was all Croatia Raiders' game, but they had a bunch of shots. I think only one of them was on target. It was from Noel Blazeka, but it was almost directly at the keeper. But they just could not, for all the goods that they did in that at least first half and a bit of the second, they just could not score for the life of them. And I was at their game against Playford last week, and again, it was a sort of similar story, except Croatia managed to score. And then, of course, I went to Playford on the Saturday, and again, both teams just sort of lacking the ability to really just sort of kill off the game. The goal eventually came through Isaac Mullen, but FK Beograd, this game was probably a lot more open compared to the Friday night, but both sides having so many chances. again, just couldn't really finish it off, and it was frustrating to watch. There was a lot of crossing as well, which crossing did not seem to work on the Saturday. I don't think there were many, if any, really. I wouldn't say good. There were some good crosses, but none that really connected with another teammate, and it was just sort of frustrating to watch. And I can't imagine what it would have been like for the coaches. So yeah, it was an interesting pattern over the course of the 2 games that I did see on the weekend. That it was sort of a similar story between the both of them. But yeah, still nice, and I had a good burger at Playford, so can't complain. Alessio, finally on to you. Anything from you?
Yeah, a bit of the goal fest there at Croydon versus Campbelltown. Probably not one we expected, but for Campbelltown, it's probably distant memory now. But their last away loss was against Croydon there a couple of years ago. This ended their year-long streak. I think it was about 20 or more games away from home without a defeat. But it just seems like it was a place they don't like to be. It was definitely hot. A few of the players, obviously, you were dealing with that. I think they made 2 or 3 subs at halftime, Campbelltown. But it just looked like Pasio John in this league at the moment is just unplayable. We saw it at Cooper Stadium a couple of weeks ago. He wasn't even in the starting lineup in the round 1 for Croydon Kings, and now he's probably one of the top scorers in the league. I thought I saw on the Sofa score that he had a first half hat trick, but I think that first goal did end up going back to Andre Carl after the game was reviewed. But still, he had a hand in all the goals, and he was just such a menace for this Campbelltown team. Unfortunately for the goalkeeper, Magetta, we were talking about how the goalkeeper issues at Campbelltown, where they didn't know who was the number 1. They had a concussion, then straight after he's back, he's come back in the team, no matter how many clean sheets Matt Centofanti was having. And then Magetta produced something like this. So it's difficult areas for Daniel Mullen to talk about as well, especially with how well the defence was going in the previous games, with Mullen stepping in there next to Jordan Marisic instead of Alec, who I think is still injured. And they had Malisi playing right fullback instead of Boffa, who had a good game last week, so he kept his place and in the cup, and Liam Bruno as well. But it was almost a second half comeback for Campbelltown. They showed some composure in front of goals here to get Marino another goal in his race to that golden boot, where he's been superb for Campbelltown, probably the shining light in his team at the moment, who are struggling for some form. But we'll wait to see his last goal. There's an own goal there from Brazzali. But it just seems too little too late for Campbelltown. 4-0 down at half-time is got to be one of the toughest team talks to have in your first year of coaching, especially with how well you've done so far this season. And then Trimboli just puts the dagger into the hearts of Campbelltown with that absolute screamer. A recent signing as well for Croydon this season. But yeah, so Croydon's a team that we probably didn't expect to be doing things to teams like a reigning grand finalist, but they're just trotting along their way with Pasio John in great form.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a very fun game to see come through as the scores came through while I was at my game. All right, on to prediction. Yes.
Just a quick word. I was at Comets and City at the weekend as well.
Oh, yes, of course. Sorry.
Very, very quickly, coming into that game, Comets had only scored 6 goals in their opening 5 games, and only the Modbury Jets, who were bottom of the ladder at that point in time, had scored fewer. They'd only got 4. City won this one 3-0. Comets obviously still haven't added to that score tally, so they're having a lot of trouble scoring goals, Comets, and they were tight at the back until this game. So yeah, second half had only just started. Nicholas Bucco popped up within seconds of the game starting, and Donny Natsiopoulos in the commentary box with me hadn't even got his headset on when Bucco scored that one. That was added to. Lovely piece of footwork here between Bressan and Laurie Latanzio for the second goal, and then super sub Luca Ullman came on at the end and scored a goal to seal it for. Well, it was kind of already sealed by the time this happened, but a little bit of a counter-attack here. Comets obviously chasing the
Thoughts
game.
on a foul here from Kamau?
Oh, maybe. I'll go back.
I've just been watching this.
It could have been, but I don't think it was impacting anything really.
No, I think look at Ullman at that point in time only had one thing in his mind. Oh, there is, there is a foul off the ball there.
Yeah.
That's
He just
risky.
lined him
That's
up.
risky.
Wasn't even going
Yeah,
for the ball.
risky doing that. So naughty you, Bruce Kamau. But look, I think Luke Ullman at that point in time only had one thing in his mind, so it wouldn't have affected the outcome. But yeah, that was risky. But then again, they were 2-0 up. If the goal had been disallowed, and it was the 91st minute, it would have made a difference. So I just wanted to mention that quickly.
It
And
would
I
have made a
also thought
difference.
if you wanted to go back to the Raiders one, I did hear it in the back mics of that game as well. But I'm not sure if the referee blew his whistle to take the free kick for O'Doherty's goal. And you can hear Vlado in the back saying, "Did you blow your whistle?" And you can see even Toriani. It looked like I know there's a lot of those memes going around where it looks like referees and players celebrating against the team they conceded for. But if you look at Toriani in the clip as well, he was very adamant that never heard a whistle. They played it too quick for the referee. The defense wasn't ready. You might be able to. Can you go back a little bit from the start of it? But look at Toriani here.
Right after this clip.
So the referee is about to mark it out and tell the wall, and then they play it. I'm not sure if you can hear audio, but you can definitely see Toriani here. I don't know.
If with that, I reckon the fact that the ref is right there, and he hasn't. Well, I'm only seeing that short clip, but if he hasn't signalled that it's whistle, then you can take it as soon as you want. He hasn't signified that it's going to be on the blow. So if they're quick enough to take it, then they might be able to get away with it. In this case, they have. But normally the ref will say whether he's going to if it's going to be whistle or
it'd be contextual. I think I can't remember what it was at the time, but yeah, I think it depended on whether or not it was because that clip I can't remember exactly what happened, but I can't remember if it was literally like foul, took a free kick within a couple of seconds, and it was loud. And I don't think it was like a set piece.
Yeah,
well, look like he's like bending down to either tell him where the ball is or mark out a wall. And as soon as he started bending down, they just took it. And he's like, "Oh, I guess play on then." And I'm not sure, but
very interesting. I didn't notice that at the time, but I might have a look later.
It does lead towards a very interesting table, though, as well. When you look at it across, it's Metro, obviously. Well, not obviously, but they're sitting on top, and then you've got Adelaide City and Adelaide United, 2 points behind. 2 points behind them, Playford, Croydon, and Comets. A further point behind Para Hills, and then Modbury Raiders and Campbelltown. So, and then FK and FK Beergrad and Bacala. So, but it's all very close. It's got its little groups, but there's only a small gap between those groups when you look at it. So there's no real no one's pulling away or one group's pulling away, which is probably a good thing when you look at it. I mean, Bacala get a win and results go their way, they could jump as high as 8th. So the league's quite tight in that regard, which is good news. It's what we want to see. We want to see it nice and tight and no real runaways or no one getting left behind.
I'm waiting for the year where we're all at different games and trying to figure out, the permutations of what's going on. I can't wait till we get a final day where we literally don't know where the trophy's going to be, and everyone that's working in the comps team at Football SA is having to travel back and forth throughout the city of Adelaide trying to figure out where it's going. It's my dream.
You need a helicopter for that, don't you?
Exactly.
But it doesn't happen with final series anyway because you end up with the grand final.
They still get a trophy and a flag at the end of the season. Yeah.
It happened a little bit last year with Metro and Campbelltown, I want to say.
And Modbury, that was all. Yeah.
And Modbury, that was the other one, because they're having to travel back and forth. Well, they didn't know where they were going to go or where they were going to stick for the night to have the trophy and everything. So, my dream. That's what I want. On to predictions for just the cups this weekend.
Should we check the results from?
Absolutely, Mr. Karachi.
Yeah,
it's down there.
Yeah. So it was an interesting week from all of us. Again, great to see 10 plus good. 10 plus correct winners picked from all of us, all 4. And there was a couple of perfect scorelines as well. So we'll go on from David first. He got 10 correct winners.
Yes.
And 1 perfect scoreline.
Yes.
We'll get back to that later because someone else had the exact same game as that. It's a perfect scoreline. And I don't know how. We're going to have to watch back or find the clip last week on how this
occurred. We need the
VAR. Mark, this week, no perfect scores. But 10 correct score lines. Seb this week had 10 correct winners and 3 perfect scorelines.
Wow.
work,
I'm
Seb.
really good for once.
And me this week had 14 correct
What?
winners and
Right.
2 correct scorelines.
Good
Right.
work, Alessio.
Mm.
On the tape.
So we'll go
So
through
David's the
those
weakest
perfect scorelines. We'll go through those perfect scorelines. We'll go with Seb's first. So Seb had the 3-0 Adelaide Uni men's win over Western Strikers.
Okay.
Had the 5-1 Vista women's win, which all of us had some big scorelines. David had a 4-3, Mark a 3-2, and me a 5-2. But Seb had the 5-1.
That's super random. Okay.
The other one, which I thought was kind of wild, was Seb picked the 2-0 Flinders women win over City.
Hmm.
Good work,
all of
Seb.
us had City to win or a 2-2 draw. David had. We'll go through mine. I had the 2-1 Adelaide Hills Hawks win over Seaford, contrary to the derby.
Everyone else, yep.
And then this is the one. David's perfect scoreline was the same as my second perfect scoreline. And the game was in State League 1. Can you guess which one?
Sturt. Oh.
Was it an upset?
Well, I think a result like this is just a bit out of the blue. And I don't know how either of us even had this.
3-all?
Cobblers 1-0.
It was the 3-all between Pontian and Olympic. Both David and I had a 3-all for that game. I don't know.
Jeez.
I gotta listen back and see if it was one set after the other, or I said that I also had that. But yeah, unbelievable that we both had that game. I picked the 3-all when it actually come to fruition. So what that means in standings, David gains 13 points this week and goes to 116.
Yes.
I gained 20 points this week, went to 128.
No.
Seb gained 19 points and goes to 129.
Good work, Seb.
Favorite number too.
And Mark, with just his 10 correct winners, goes to 136. So 7 points
Ooh.
between Mark and Seb, 1 point between Seb and I think that's 12 points between David and I. So it's definitely getting closer.
And it certainly is.
Getting closer.
And if David wanted to talk about our guest predictions as well, unfortunately they're not on our level at the moment. With Lorenzo only getting 1 correct winner, with Metro beating Bacala. Donny doing a little bit better than him with 3, with City, Metro, and the Para United to be a draw. But otherwise, they didn't give us exact scorelines, so no perfect for them.
Maybe if anyone listening fancies a go, they could send in a list of predictions for us and we'll read them out. But they must submit them before the round, of course.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. All right, on to what is coming up this weekend. First, on my list, I had it as tonight, Flinders versus West Adelaide. It is not happening tonight. Otherwise, it would have been happening in about half an hour's time. Has been postponed to a later date, but we'll still have it as first up. Flinders versus West Adelaide in the Cup, whenever that is to be played. I will go for a West Adelaide 4-1 win in normal time.
David, do you want me to go before you this week, or do you want to go before me this week?
I've already written all mine out because I wasn't sure I was going to make predictions, so I've already written mine.
All right.
So I can rattle them off. I'm not going to change them.
Nice.
West Adelaide to win 3-0 in 90 minutes.
Yeah, West Adelaide to win 5-0 in 90.
Okay.
I've gone 5-2 West Adelaide in 90 minutes as well.
And then Thursday night, Adelaide Uni versus Salisbury Inter. Once again in the Cup. I think Inter will win 1-0 after full time. Or in extra time.
I've also gone for Inter to win this 2-1 in 90 minutes.
I'll go Uni 1-0 in 90.
I've gone Uni 2-1 in normal time.
NTC versus Comets. I'm going to go... it'll go to extra time. It'll even go to penalties. 2-2 going to penalties. and Comets will win it on penalties.
I've gone for Comets to win 3-2 in extra time.
Oh, I was doing the same.
I
course
did
it
the
is.
same as well.
I was going to go 2-2 at 90, 3-2 in extra time to Comets.
All right. Sturt versus Adelaide City, a game with a bit of history behind it as well after last year. I think City will win 2-0.
I've gone for an upset in this one. I've gone for Sturt Lions to win this 4-3 in 90 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to go
Should've
a
gone
cup set
6-6.
as well. I was going to go a
Repeat.
cup set Sturt 2-1 in 90.
Okay.
I've gone Sturt 2-1 in extra time.
Okay. And then final game for the Thursday, Western Strikers versus Modbury Vista, all WSL. I'm going to go Modbury Vista to win for 6-1.
So I've written down here Modbury Vista. So nothing after 90 minutes, but Modbury Vista score 6 goals in extra time, and then it's
6 what? 6-0 or 6-2?
6-0. 6-0.
6-0.
Oh.
0-0 after 90.
Um,
Vista to score 6 in additional time.
I'm going for
Additional
4-0 in
time.
90.
Extra time, whatever it's called.
I've gone 7-1 Vista in normal time.
No games on Friday due to Adelaide United, of course. And then on to Saturday, West Torrens Burkalla versus Metro United. I'm going to go Metro to win in extra time 2-1.
I've gone for Metro United to win 4-3 in extra time.
2-1 Metro in 90.
I will go 4-2 Metro in extra time.
And then, of course, no Sunday because it's Easter. Happy Easter, everybody. Well, actually, do you not just quickly derail favorite chocolate to have on Easter? I personally, I really like a good Kinder. Kinder's really good chocolate.
I don't really. Yeah, I'm not. Cadbury's cream egg? Is that too cliche?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I'll go with the one that my mum still hangs on my doorknobs, the Lindt carrot.
That exists?
Yeah. It
Yeah.
existed for a long time.
Oh.
I remember when I was little, I woke up and all of my drawer knobs for like pulling out the drawers had little carrots on them. And my mum still puts it on my light switch and some of the doorknobs.
That's nice.
Can I have a sleepover at yours at Easter, Alessio? I want to wake up. I want to wake up to that.
Is that your healthy option? Because it's, like a carrot, just at least it's shaped like a carrot.
No, it's definitely not healthy. And I wish they had a white chocolate version, but no, they don't.
Mark,
I'm
your
surprised you
favorite?
didn't go with a white chocolate egg, actually, Alessio. I'll probably go the hundreds and thousands egg. So it's got the freckles
okay.
in that.
Yeah,
Freckles in
very-
it. So
very
I'll go on those.
After we've eaten all of those, on Monday, Campbelltown versus Cove occurs. I think this is going to go to extra time. Campbelltown to win 1-0 in extra time.
I've got Cove to win this one 3-2 in 90 minutes.
Yeah, I'm going to go a cup set and go Cove 2-1 in 90.
I've gone Campbelltown 2-1 extra time.
And then finally, Adelaide Jags versus Modbury Jets. I'm going to go for a 2-1 Jets win.
I'm going for a Jaguars win in 90, 4-3.
3-2 Modbury.
I'll
90.
go 4-2 Jags in 90.
On to the Federation Cup / Australia Cup qualifying rounds, round of 16, starting Thursday night. West Torrens Burkalla versus Croydon. I'm going to go for a Croydon 3-1 win.
I've gone for Croydon to win this one on penalties after it being 1-1 after the extra time.
So Burkalla are going to draw again, is what you're saying?
Yeah, the draw specialists.
Yeah,
I was going to go 2-2 and Burks to win on penalties.
Drawing their way to the cup.
Yep.
Well, they got it taken away from the 90th minute last week. So, but I think Passia John's form is just unbelievable. And you got Harpers, who's had a great week in between the sticks. I'm going to go. So, Seb, you said 3-2 Croydon in normal time? Or 3?
Yeah, no, 3-1. It's 3-1.
Oh, yeah, 3-1. That's a weird 2. I will go 4-3 Croydon extra time.
Next is Adelaide Croatia Raiders versus Cumberland United. I think this will be a 4-0 Raiders win.
I've gone for Raiders to win this 3-2 in extra time.
Raiders 4-2 in 90.
I'll go 3-1 Raiders in 90.
I'm also assuming players aren't going to be rested, and teams are going to put out their strongest teams.
You'd hope so. You'd hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saturday, Fulham versus Sturt Lions. I'm going to go for a Sturt 3-0 win.
I've also gone for a Sturt 3-0 win in 90.
And do you know what, David? I trust you because you've written it down.
Yeah.
I'm going Sturt. I'll go Sturt win in 90.
3-0.
No, 3-1.
Had to change it so it doesn't look like he's cheating.
I'm going
I'm in front.
I'm going a 4-2 Sturt win, and I'll be at this game. The Sturt return to West Beach. I'm excited for this one. First time seeing him live this season.
Garn versus Campbelltown City. I'm going to go for a Campbelltown 4-0.
I've gone for Campbelltown 3-2 in 90.
Okay.
Campbelltown 2-0 in 90.
I'm going to go 7-2 Campbelltown in 90.
Why'd you need that much time to think?
Because I just had to think about like some defenses, some people playing without their number one keeper, stuff like that.
Yeah. Fair enough. Seaford versus Comets at Seaford. Someone who they said they'd want, Mark, or they said they wanted an NPL team and they've gotten it.
Yeah, they wanted it. When's that game? Saturday at what?
Saturday at some time. I don't have the time written down.
Okay.
I'm going to go for a Comets 3-1 win.
I've gone for Comets to win this as well, but for some reason I don't know if I agree with myself from earlier on, but I've gone for a 1-0 Comets win in 120 minutes. I'm not sure why I would have written that down, but that's what I wrote down.
They don't score goals.
Yeah, they don't score goals, but I don't
I'm
think
wondering if Mark.
I might just change it to 90 minutes. Comets in 90.
I don't trust you anymore, David. You haven't written it down.
I was wondering if Mark knows anything about the goalkeeper for Seaford, if he's going to be back in between the sticks this week, because they had
Don't know.
Yeah, Nate Roberts in between.
On the weekend.
Interesting.
I don't know. That I honestly couldn't tell you at this stage. I might be able to find out before the weekend, but I couldn't tell you at the moment. So, I'm actually really not sure about this game. I'm going to go Comets 90 minutes, 2-1.
I've gone 5-1 Comets.
Hills Hawks versus Cove at the Hawks Nest. I'm going to go for a cup set. I think this will finish 2-1 in extra time to Hills Hawks. I should have said that as well.
I've written down, and I think I still agree with this, Cove to win this on penalties after 2-2 in 120 minutes.
I'm going to go Cove 3-2 in 90.
I'm going to go Hawks 4-3 in extra time. Hopefully, if you're going to go to this one, David.
When is it? Monday?
Saturday.
Possibly. Is it Saturday afternoon?
Later. I think it'll be night, maybe.
Maybe
I
like 5
might
p.m.
go along, yeah. I might go along.
Be a return to Hawks for a couple of the players as well. Grant.
I was actually thinking, I might go along.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Canny played, but
5 o'clock.
Oh, is it?
5 o'clock on
There you go.
Saturday. Yep.
I'll almost certainly go along. I just don't know what else we've got planned for the weekend.
On to what's next? Final game for the Saturday: Metro Stars versus Modbury Jets. Only one of two only full MPL games in the cup. I'm going to go for a Metro 2-0 win.
I've got Metro Stars to win this 3-2 in 90 minutes.
I go.
I got
2-2
3-1
at the
Metro
end.
extra time.
I'm going to go
Taking too long,
penalties. I'm gonna
Mark.
go. Yeah, well, I'm not sure that's going. I'm going to go 2-2 at the end of extra time, and penalties. Metro to win on penalties.
And then finally on the Monday night, Adelaide Olympic versus FK Beergrad. I think this will be a 4-1 Beergrad win.
I've gone for a 2-1 Beograd win in extra time, 120 minutes.
What did you say, Seb?
4-1 Beergrad.
Doesn't
Okay, I
matter,
was gonna
Mark.
go
Make up your own mind. Make up
I
your
was
own
gonna-
mind, Mark.
Yeah, no, I just didn't want to go the same. So I was going to go 4-2. That's why I just wanted to check to see if he'd gone 4-1 or 4-2. So I'm going 4-2. FK Beergrad in 90.
I've gone 3-3 full time and Beergrad on penalties.
Very, very interesting. Okay. Now, normally this would be the point of the show where, we'd end and we'd go off. But because we have no guests. Oh, sorry, Mark.
No, I just wanted to quickly say that just been told Metro, Modbury, and Olympic and Beergrad will be live streamed.
Very, very cool.
So
very,
yes,
very, very cool.
they say Football Focus will be live streaming both the Metro Modbury game on the Saturday night and the Olympic Beergrad on the Monday. So if you can't get down there, at least you can tune in.
Very, 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 very good to hear. Yes, where was I? Oh, yes. So yeah, normally would be the point where we finish, we go off our separate ways, we go have our dinners. But due to having no guests, we have a very special treat. So for the first time, well, not for the first time, but the first time with an intro, it's time for
David Grant for his production.
yes, time for
That's brilliant.
for an amazing time for all to be had.
That is brilliant.
Mr. David Grant, take it away. First of all, did you love your intro?
Yeah, can you do it again, or is it just a one-off?
No, I can do it again.
David Grant for his production.
Isn't it the coolest thing?
Is it a bit of a worry that the Grant looks a bit like Grunt?
My mum said the same thing when I showed her. I
love it.
you know,
It's brilliant.
I wrote it out with a mouse, and I thought it looked like an A, also looked like a U, but it can be interpreted
love it.
however
It's
you want.
brilliant.
So it's either a David Grant quiz production or a David Grunt. So over to you, Mr. David Grunt, for the quiz.
Okay, so look, I'm conscious of the time. We're already well into the night here, so I've got a bunch of questions here. But what I'm going to do is there's going to be a couple of rules. I'm going to put a little bit of a time constraint on you, so you're not deliberating for 5-10 minutes, because then we'll be here all night. What?
No, I'm just saying. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Okay, yeah, cool. Sorry, I thought you were interrupting me. So we have decided what we'll do is I'll ask these questions. They're all based on the 2025 season thus far. In fact, the quiz is called the Great Quiz of the 2025 season thus far. So what we'll do is I'll ask the question. You're competing independently, not as a team.
Good.
And what you've got to well, that's what you all wanted. Overwhelmingly, I voted there. But I need a buzzer from each of you, a buzzer noise from each of you, so that I am listening out for a distinct noise. Seb, what's your buzzer noise?
Seb.
Okay, good. Mark, what's your buzzer noise?
Just trying to think of something short. Talbot will do. Talbs will do.
Okay. And Alessio Carocci, what's your buzzer noise?
Gingerbread Man.
Gingerbread.
You picked the longest possible thing.
You've picked Talbot because it's short when your name is Mark.
Yeah,
and then Alessio, your name doesn't
Talbs.
do you any favors, but you still pick something really long.
No.
David, I don't know about you, but I think I've got this in the bag due to the length of my buzzer noise.
Mate, it's all about false sense of security, Seb.
Okay, so Seb, I'm listening for Seb. Mark, I'm listening for Talbs.
Yep.
And Alessio, I'm listening for the gingerbread man. Okay. You guys ready for question 1?
Yep. So does that mean it's time for you? Got to say it's time. You got to say it, David.
It's time for the David Grant
No,
Great
let
Quiz
me.
of
I was going to play the
What?
intro again. You got to do the intro. So
Okay. It is time for
David Grant Quiz Production.
let's go.
magic. Okay. Let's try and get through this quickly. Yeah. Question 1. Question 1 is on State League 2 South. Eastern United sit top of the table in State League 2 South. They've won 5 out of 5 games and they've scored 26 goals in the process. How many league goals have they conceded?
Talbs,
Mark, when you go.
3.
Talbs has got it. He is dead right. 3. Nice. Okay. That's not gonna be annoying, is it? Okay.
We could get it wrong and I have to go. So ups and downs. I have a different.
Right.
I have a different wrong noise. So it can go really bad.
They're all good. They're all good. I'm jesting. Are you ready for question 2, folks?
Yes.
Question 2 is on State League 2 North. Modbury Vista currently lead State League 2 North, despite not winning all 5 of their league games so far. Salisbury Inter are second. How many points adrift of Modbury Vista are second placed Salisbury Inter?
Gingerbread Man, 4.
Whoa, Gingerbread Man's correct.
What?
A point for Alessio.
Okay.
4 points adrift. Yes, Modbury Vista on 13 and Salisbury Inter are on 9. Okay, question 3 on State League. Is your buzzer working, Seb?
Yeah.
Is your buzzer working?
Yeah. It's
Can you
it'll
say it?
come.
Short, but
Seb?
Yeah, it's gonna come.
Okay, State League 2. This is a general knowledge question on State League 2. It's question 3. Which team or teams across both State League 2 South and North is yet to win a game?
Seb.
Okay.
I buzzed in first, so I could have time. What was the question? Who not to win a game?
oh, he's wasting time here.
Very quickly, which team or teams across the State League North and South are yet to win a game?
Mount Barker and to win again. Mount Barker and Western Strikers.
Same teams.
No,
Same
open
league.
up to the floor.
Gingerbread Man, Mount Barker, and what was the team I was going to...
Oh, he's wasting
So-
time, David. He's wasting time.
Atletico.
Yes, correct. So, Alessio, what I'm going to do, Seb, I'm going to give you a half point because you did
Okay.
get the first one right. But I'm going to give Alessio the full point for
2
getting
points.
both teams. Yeah. All right, we now move into the Women's State League.
Shouldn't it be half a point each because I got one and he got one?
Incorrect. Okay, Women's State League.
Okay.
Still working
That's
that buzzer.
Okay, Women's State League, question 4. Modbury Vista are top of the Women's State League. They've got 6 wins from 6. They've only conceded 5 goals in those 6 games. Who was the first team to score against them?
Talbs,
And for an extra. Yep.
Jaguars and 3.
No. So it's opened up to the floor. So I
I
had to
didn't
think
finish the
there.
question. Yeah, finish the question.
Yeah,
You didn't
I'll
finish
let
it.
you finish the question.
Who was the first team to score against them? And for an extra half point, in which round was this first goal conceded?
Seb.
Go.
Sturt in round 3. I can't remember. That's my guess.
No. So it's down to Alessio.
Gingerbread Man, Jaguars in round 2.
No, you're all wrong.
What was it, David?
It's actually Elizabeth Grove in round 1.
Oh.
Milano Venter scored for Elizabeth Grove against Vista in round 1. So no points there for you. Still with the Women's State League, question 5. South Adelaide are third in the WSL after 6 games. How many of the 6 games have they won?
Talbs.
Gingerbread Man.
Mark.
2.
Yes. 2. Can you, for an extra point, Mark? For an extra point, well, we've got you. Do you know who
Changing the
those winners
rules,
are?
guys.
Who they're against? Oh, jeez. I'll go. I actually have no idea. I'll go Cove and Jags.
No. Any of the other 2 got an idea? So we extra half point.
Grove and Strikers.
Seb, what have you got for me?
Is it any of those?
No, you
tell you,
can't
mate.
take.
I'm
Yeah.
guessing first.
I can't remember what you said. Who have they won against? They've won against.
He's looking at it right now. Look at his eyes.
No, I'm not looking at it. It's just I got my screen on.
On their results.
No. South against. I can't remember what you 2 said. Western Strikers and. Jets. I don't know.
Okay, I'll give you a half point, Alessio, for getting Western Strikers. And Seb, I'll give you a half point for Strikers as well. And I'll give you a half point for getting Jets. It's Jets and Strikers. So
Hang
So
on.
Seb gets
Hang on. I should get a full point. Because in the first one, Alessio got both right, and he got a full point, and I only got a half point. Therefore, the rule should apply that I get a full point for getting both right, unless it gets half.
anyway, next question.
It's already rigged.
Question 6. And I'll give you a scores update after this one. This is still in the Women's State League. Elizabeth Grove are bottom of the Women's State League, and they are winless. However, they have scored more goals than 2 teams above them on the ladder. Which 2 teams above them on the ladder? Gingerbread Man?
Strikers and Cove.
What were you going to say, Seb?
I was going to say Strikers and Cove.
And what were you going to say, Mark, if it ever got to you?
Oh, I forgot to me. Geez, I had no idea. I'd say Strikers and probably Cove. Yeah.
I've already made up my mind who's getting points here. So your mistake there, Mark, was to say you've got no idea and you were just following the rest. So you get no points. But Seb and Alessio, we get half point each for saying Strikers. They are 7th and have scored 7, and Jaggers are 5th and scored 8. So I'm going to give a wee half there and a wee half there. Okay, that concludes the round on the Women's State League. And we now move in to the Men's State League 1. And I'll give you a scores update. Talbs, you've got 2 points. Seb, you've got 1.5 points. And Alessio, you have 3 points. So
No,
it's quite
call him
close.
Gingerbread Man.
Gingerbread Man has got 3 points. Okay, the Men's State League 1. You ready? Hands on buzzers. Question 7. Sturt Lions are top of the table and they haven't dropped any points. They've scored 19 goals. For 1 point each, can you name the 3 top goal scorers in State League 1? I'll go for Seb actually there.
Yeah, do you know why you're going to go for me? Because I was first. Top 3, I don't know, Matt Taylor, Toi Tarkani, and I can't think of anyone else.
Okay.
Do I have to say a third?
No, 2's good.
Okay, there's only 2 I can think of.
Alessio, what were you going to say?
I was going to say Sakani, Dante Cacciavellani, and Matt Taylor.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you that Dante Cacciavellani is top with 7. Matt Taylor's second with 5, right? So I'm going to give Seb a point for saying Matt Taylor. And I'm going to give Alessio a point for saying Matt Taylor and Dante. I'll give you 2 points for that, Alessio. Mark, if you can name the third one, you'll get a point as well. It's a player that neither Seb nor Alessio have mentioned.
Sortini.
Yeah, that's the other one I was thinking.
It's Nicholas Harpus of Cobras.
Oh.
Just updating my scores charts here. I've made it very confusing with these half points. That was silly. Never mind. Okay. Question 8.
Mm-hmm.
What ladder position right now are Fulham United in out of
Seb.
out of the 12? Go.
Gingerbread Man.
I already said
Seb.
it.
Yeah, no,
What are
I'm
you
just
doing?
getting in second, so I go in before Mark.
Oh, of course.
You've
of
got to
course.
wait till the answer's given, surely.
Yes.
Let's go. You didn't wait for it. I'm going to go 7th.
Okay. Alessio, what would you say?
6th.
And what would you say, Mark?
Who are you talking about? Fulham?
Fulham. Where are Fulham in the ladder right now?
8th.
Oh, Mark gets it. Well done, Mark.
Damn, I thought the win on the weekend would have taken it.
Do I get a half point for being right next to it?
No. Okay. Question 9, and the last question in the men's State League 1. Which team has the worst goal difference in State League 1?
Talbs.
Seb.
Gingerbread Man.
Mark.
South Adelaide.
Seb, you were second. What were you going to say?
Pontian.
And Alessio, you were third. What were you going to say?
Pontian as well.
Okay. I'm going to give a half point to Seb because Seb's right, but he obviously didn't get in first. Alessio, you get nothing because you'd already just copied what
Yeah,
Seb was
exactly.
saying. And I want to keep this nice and close. Okay, so I'm kind of manipulating it a little bit, I'll admit. We move on to the women's NPL. Are you ready? Oh, you want a scores update? Alessio
Sure.
leads. He's got 5 points. Seb and Talbs tied for second on 3 points each.
Wow.
Women's NPL.
Okay.
Question 10. Who is currently top of the WNPL
Seb.
reserves table? Seb.
Gingerbread
Yeah,
Man second.
I think it'd be West Adelaide.
It's not West Adelaide. Alessio.
Bacala.
It's not Burculla. Mark, take
random.
your time.
Oh, can I have a second guess if Mark doesn't get it right, but I won't get any points for it?
We could just keep going round if you want.
Okay.
I go Metro.
Well done, Mark Talbot. Oh, it is Metro. How did you know that? Was that a guess?
Just a guess.
I was going to
Yeah,
guess
yeah.
Comets.
I was actually really surprised. I hadn't really been following the reserves, and I flicked over when I was doing this afternoon, and there they were. They've played 5, won 5, scored 27, and conceded just 1 in the women's reserves.
Wow.
Time for some promotions.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, question 11. Who is currently the top scorer in the WNPL? And for a bonus
Seb.
half point. Okay,
I don't
Seb.
care about the bonus half point. Nini Yamada.
Yes, it is Nina Yamada. But I'll open it up to the floor to give me the answer to how many goals she's scored.
Gingerbread Man.
Okay.
6.
Incorrect. Mark.
8.
It's 7, guys.
Did I not? What did I not get another guess?
No,
He
because
opened it up just for the floor.
Oh, okay. This is so much fun. Question 12, and the last one on the women's NPL. Question 12. Campbelltown City recently picked up their first league point in a 2-2 home draw. Against which team?
Seb.
Go.
Adelaide Uni.
It was Adelaide Uni, Seb. Well done. That concludes the women's NPL round and our scores update. Alessio still has 5. Seb also has 5, and Mark just 1 point behind on 4. This is close. Okay. The men's NPL. Question 13. Who is top of the NPL reserves table?
Gingerbread Man.
Okay.
Campbelltown.
No. Open up to the floor.
Seb.
Go.
Do you know what? Because you guessed Burkalla for the women's, I'll go Burkalla the men's for this.
Correct. Well done. Westhurst played 6, they won 5 and drawn 1. Okay, question 14. This relates to the A grade. Well, I've written down the A grade. I mean the first team. After after 6 rounds, how many points do West Torrens McCullough have in the NPL?
Sounds
Huge
Seb.
revenue.
It was Mark.
4.
Sounds different.
Correct, Mark.
And
Well
so
done.
in my ears, I was definitely first.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Whatever
you are.
comes through for David is the one.
Fortunately, your ears don't count for anything when I'm adjudicating. I feel like the linesman, with the flag at the side and people. What are you looking at, Seb? You're not looking stuff up, are you?
No. Well, we got a
There's a
message
couple
from Nicole. Can we skip the quiz and just play the intro over and over?
Well, guess what's going out on the socials this week?
Yeah, we got to have the intro. And I think she answered a question, but I didn't see it. She said Flinders, and I can't remember what answer that was, but I don't know if she was right or not. So we'll continue on.
Bit of transfer news from Nicole there.
Anyway,
Okay, this is still the men's NPL. Question 15. 5 players are currently tied. Now, before you all burst in here,
wait. Can you start the question again? I wasn't paying attention.
Well, what I was thinking is I haven't planned this very well, but I'm looking for the names of the 5 players that are currently tied
man.
for the Golden Boot with
Shush.
5 goals each. So I think what I'll do is I'll get you to how to work this. Do I get you to answer one and just keep going round till you've answered till you've given me 5 each, or does Gingerbread Man just have a crack?
Yeah,
You
let
mean-
Gingerbread have a go.
Yeah, you have a
You
go
said
then,
the
Alessio.
top, they're each that are joint on the same amount of goals, right?
Yeah, sorry, it's actually 4 players. 4 players currently tied for the Golden Boot with 5 goals each. Give me a point. I'll give you a point for each one you can name.
Okay, Mark Marino. I'll go. Oh, you're not going to say yes or no. Okay.
I've got one.
Passia John. Daniel Ryan. And the fourth one.
That wasn't the one.
Owen Windsor.
Okay, Alessio, I'll give you 2 points for that, and I'll ask Mark to give me. I'll ask Mark to give me his 4.
You're not
I
going to
would
say
have
who's...
gone. I would have
Right.
gone Dan Ryan. I'd also go Isaac Mullen. Passia John's the other one. And maybe, oh no, not him. I was thinking maybe Aladnir Bonner, but I don't think he's got 5. Marino would be my other guess.
So what's your 4?
Marino, Mullen, Isaac Mullen from Playford, Dan Ryan, and who was my other one? Passia John.
Okay. Okay. Seb, before I say how many Mark got there, what's your 4?
Well, I probably would have gone the same. Dan Ryan, Mark Marino, Passia John. I can't remember the other one you said.
I
But
said Isaac Mullen.
Mullen.
yeah, I don't. Oh, yeah, not that one. I think maybe Aladnir Bonner,
So exact same 4 as Mark.
except Aladnir Bonner.
No, I didn't go Aladnir Bonner.
Oh, okay. What were your 4 again, Mark?
Isaac Mullen, Dan Ryan, Mark Marino, and Passia John.
Do you want to
All
list
right,
yours for good measure again as well?
No, I don't need to let you. I'm okay with that. Okay, and I've got what you've got as well. So I've written down what you've got as well, Seb.
Okay.
Okay. So the answer is Daniel Ryan, Isaac Mullen, Mark Marino, and Tyrese Conway.
Oh, I forgot about Conway.
Yeah. So what's that, like 2 points each for everyone, I think?
Alessio got 2 points, and you 2 got 3 points. So the scores update is in 3rd place out of 3, Alessio. In second on 7 points. Just 1 point ahead of him in 2nd place, Mark on 8 points. And just 1 point ahead of him on 9 points, Seb.
Like it.
So it's just 1 point separating you all, 9, 8, and 7. And we're moving into the last round now. Okay. Question 17. And this is going to be a little bit out of your area of expertise, so you might struggle here, fellas.
God.
Underneath the Women's State League, we have the Women's Community Divisions. Can you tell me which club is top of Division 1?
Gingerbread Man.
Okay,
Summer
what have you
FC.
got?
Calves. I was going to say the same thing.
No.
It's actually FC Summit, so you would have been wrong anyway, Alessio.
FC Summit are actually in Division 1, they're in Division 2.
All right. Well then, Seb. I feel like it'd be someone like a Pembroke or like a school side. I feel like in a weird way. I'm gonna go Pembroke just as a random guess.
I've got another guess if we're going around again as well. But
Okay, we'll go around again. Alessio, what have you got?
Garn United women.
Okay, and Mark, what have you got if we're going around again?
Maybe someone like Cougars.
Ooh.
Well, it's not somebody like Pembroke. It is Pembroke.
Oh wow!
Well
Hey, well done, Seb.
Wow.
Okay, things are hotting up. Just a few questions left. Okay, worth 1 point each. Can you tell me which team is top of Sasso Saturday Premier Division and which team is top of the Sunday Sasso Premier
Seb.
Division? Okay,
As of right now,
as of right now.
my guess would be for Saturday Modbury Jets, and then Sunday I think it's Para Hills United because they're 2 from 2, and I don't know who else is 2 from 2.
Okay, I'll open up to the floor because both of those are wrong.
Really? Okay. I'm intrigued.
I'll go. I don't really know which teams are actually in both of those leagues. But
Most
I'll
of Sunday is Northern, basically. I'll give you that. Actually, all is Northern, I want to say, except even
I guess
Savoy.
for
but they're very
Sunday,
north.
then I'll go Elizabeth Downs.
So look on.
Saturday, I'll go. All those teams got moved to the state league. I swear. Cougars.
So Cougars and Downs for you, Alessio?
Yep.
Mark.
Sunday, I'm going to go. Sunday, I'm going to go East. Paros East. Saturday. Don't even know who's in the Saturday comp anymore, to be honest.
Can I? I can only think of one team in Saturday, and I think the only team I can think of is Pitbulls. I want to say, but I don't know if that's a good choice. That's the only team I can actually think of that I think is in Saturday.
Saturday. I'm going to go. Maybe Pembroke, actually, men's. Pembroke men's.
So Pembroke play in the Collegiate League, so it's not them. But you did get Para Hills East correct, Mark. Well done. So 1 point for you. Takes up to 9. And Seb, I will give you a wee half point for saying Pitbulls because they're top of the Saturday comp, but it was the second time around.
Yeah,
So
that's fair
well
enough.
done,
That's
Seb.
fair enough.
It's
the only team I can think of, well, except them and other Modbury Jets.
Well, I was thinking about giving you a clue about, think about who was in the Australia Cup and so on. But
is it tight at the top? Because I think it's technically, I think it's only 2 rounds in. Is it like a bunch of teams on the same amount of points? Yeah,
they've only played 2 games, so it's very early days. But Pitbulls, I think they're Chilean from memory. They are top of Saturday and Para Hills East, top of the Sunday comp. Okay, next question. West Adelaide beat NTC in the WNPL pre-season cup final. What was the score?
Seb.
Gingerbread Man.
Go, Seb.
3-2.
Well done, Seb. Takes you up to 11.5 points. So I've got one question left.
Make it worth 5.
Seb's in an unassailable lead.
No, not worth 5.
That works, David.
So Seb does have a lead that
can't be caught.
No, it can be caught if I. So this last. So
if you change the rules,
changing the rules slightly to keep
the
crowd on edge. The last question is worth 4 individual points because I'm going to ask you who the names of the 4 junior Matildas that have been selected for the Canberra squad. We named them at the start of the show. And you get a point for each one. And whoever gets all 4 points.
Seb's got it in front of him.
I don't have it in front of me, but I can remember 2.
Okay.
Am I saying them?
Yes, on you go, Seb.
Erin Prince and Mia Trimboli. Definitely
Yes.
2 of them. I
2
can't remember
points.
the other 2.
There was I think there was a Leah in there too. A Leah? I thought I saw the name Leah, but I couldn't tell you the other 2.
Those are the only
Well,
2 I would know as well.
To save our blushes, I'll maybe just close it there and say Seb's won with those 2 points.
Yeah.
It's Ruby King, Macy Page, Mia Trimboli from NTC, and Erin Prince from Metro United.
Hey, Seb, well done.
You can change the rules as much as you want, David.
And what did
Yeah.
you win?
What did I win?
I actually haven't got a prize for this, but I have got some chewing gum here that I can maybe bring next time I see you. And you can. There's still.
Well, I'll have it on Friday. How about that? When we're at High March on Friday, you share some of your gum.
Will do. Okay. That concludes the quiz. And that was fairly quick,
David, that concludes
the quiz.
No. That you got to say.
What have I got to say?
That concludes.
That concludes the David Grant quiz.
No. Just say that concludes, right?
That concludes David Grant quiz production.
What a time. Thanks for that, David. Very much appreciated.
Filled in a bit of time, didn't it?
Yeah, but do you know what? The intro was good, and that's what matters, isn't it? It was an amazing intro, and it was very, very cool. It was very cool. Lots of explosions, cool guitar riff. I couldn't have made it any more cooler.
I reckon you made up your own font there.
I know, the David Grunt font.
Scores update from tonight from the big game in the Women's Community League Division 2 between Adelaide Uni at home to FC Summit.
Yep.
It's finished 3-3 there. That's the game that
missed a great game, David.
Goals galore.
Yeah. My daughter sent in the result. She was playing tonight in that game. She said 3-3, and then she's put an unhappy face. So I'm assuming maybe they feel they were robbed. I don't know. I'll find out more for next time.
She didn't score then, I'm guessing, if she didn't say it.
She's generally deployed at left back, so she's not even a wing back.
Left backs can score.
Could be in her own net. That's why the sad face. But
possibly. Maybe she's conceded an own goal.
All 3 own goals.
Is it going to dribble straight away?
Should do.
Like pretty quickly, not very quickly. It's on the reps.
Give it an hour.
Yeah, it will depend sometimes.
Or a day.
Maybe 2.
Yeah, maybe 2. Maybe give it until next year, David. We got the full records right in front of us. Well, yeah, that concludes us for another week. Mark, Alessio, David, anything to finish off for us?
No, just get out and watch some games this weekend if you can. It's Easter weekend, so I'll try and get out to this if I can. Try and get out to maybe the Seaford game on the Saturday to the 3:00 kickoff. So,
scattered all over the weekend as well. So hopefully everyone can get to one at least. I think is there a Thursday one as well? Is that the Raiders Cumberland one?
There's a few Thursday. There's two men's cup and then 4 women's cup.
So spread out nicely. Everyone can get to some before they eat their chocolates. So get out there.
Very, very good. And yes, of course, don't forget 2 of the games in the men's cup will be live streamed as well. And then, of course, if you don't have Paramount Plus and want to listen to mine and David's voice on Friday, you can listen to us on the Collective, and we'll have a lot of fun. No quizzes though, and no cool intros like we have here. But we'll still have a lot of fun. And David, you'll probably find another British town to make fun of. I think you've made fun of Grimsby, Carlisle as well when we've done it in the past. So
yeah, I'll pick another one. Don't worry.
Pick another one. Pick one from Scotland. Also, just finally, from Nicole, I expect my very own intro for next time I'm invited on. It's been a while.
There you go, Seb. There's your next challenge.
Does that mean I have to do an intro for everyone? I don't know if I can make them as cool. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
well, that's the challenge.
I don't know where how cool it can get. More cooler than
You know
that.
what? I've got a challenge for you, Seb. If I get my own segment, you've got to try and make it as uncool as possible.
Okay. So uncool as possible, but you have to at least have an intro.
Yeah. Good luck.
All right. I might just make it like beige with like really like smooth like jazz music in the background. No, jazz is cool. Jazz is cool.
And for mine, Seb, when you have to do predictions with me, I think you have to get the gingerbread man from Shrek and superimpose my face.
Okay, so what's been discovered tonight is that everybody's gonna get an intro for something. All right, we'll leave it there. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching and or listening to us. Yes, get around the grounds, watch the games, listen to the games, and we'll see you next Wednesday with hopefully a guest once again.
Yep, and have a great Easter, everyone. Absolutely.
Eat your chocolates. Don't get too sick, or do if that's your thing. So enjoy your Easter, and see you next Wednesday or whenever you listen.
See you then.
Adios.
Alex Mullen to make it 3-1 in the grand final. Puts in the penalty and wins the grand final for Campbelltown City.
No one attacks it. Comes back off the Fernandez. It's a goal. It's goal. Oh! And their talisman's got another one. Harry City back quick. Jay King. Oh, what a shot! My goodness me. Oh, can't teach that sort of stuff. Sends it in. Keeps it low, and it's gone in. It's gone in. LA Uni have scored in time added. Tries to get under control, and the shot from Tolland! Salisbury into it, 2-0 up!
Still Butler with another chance, it's 3-1 to Playford! Persistence has paid off for Playford!
One touch the keeper, puts it into the bottom corner. Beach gives him a shoulder after that as well. He's lost his clean sheet, and he's lost his head with a red card! David, this is massive!
Skills to make the girls sing and the geezers too, yeah, we're doing this thing.